Jay Slater's name has dominated headlines for months, but long before the tragic events that led to his mysterious disappearance in Tenerife, the young man was already no stranger to controversy. Now, in a heart-wrenching and revealing interview, his mother Debbie Duncan has broken her silence about a little-known chapter in Jay's past, a gang-related assault that left his name stained in local court records. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. But according to Debbie, the truth behind Jay's shock conviction is far more complex and painful than the public ever knew. A mother's truth. Sitting at her kitchen table in Lancashire, Debbie's hands tremble slightly as she turns over a faded photo of Jay. In the picture, he's 15, grinning ear to ear, braces flashing, arm draped around a mate. It's hard to reconcile the boy in the photo with the headlines that would follow years later: teen convicted over brutal attack and gang incident. People think they know Jay from what they read, she says softly. But they don't know my boy, not really. They don't know what happened that night. They don't know the pressure he was under. She takes a breath. Then, for the first time, she tells the full story. The attack that shocked the town. In late 2021, a teenager was hospitalized after what police called a group altercation outside a kebab shop in Manchester. CCTV showed several young men surrounding the victim, one of them, Jay, allegedly landing a blow. The victim suffered a fractured jaw and a concussion. Jay, then just 17, was arrested, charged with the fray, and eventually convicted alongside two others. Though he was spared jail time and sentenced to community service and a youth rehabilitation program, the incident followed him like a shadow. But Debbie insists her son was no gang member, and he certainly wasn't the aggressor. He was scared, not violent. According to Debbie, Jay had fallen in with a rougher crowd during his college years. A quiet boy at home, he'd struggled with the pressure of fitting in. He didn't want to seem soft, she explains. He was the type to go along with things just to avoid being picked on. That night was no different. She says Jay had gone out with a group of older lads, some already known to the police. They were drinking, messing about. At one point, an argument broke out between one of the older boys and a stranger. It escalated fast. Jay tried to walk away. That's what hurts me most. He tried to back off. But one of them shoved him forward and said, "You want to be one of us? Show it." And Jay, being stupid, scared, he hit the lad once. One hit. And he hated himself for it. According to her, it wasn't premeditated. It wasn't a gang attack, not in the way the media made it seem. It was peer pressure, fear, and a moment of blind panic. The system failed him. Debbie believes the court system was too quick to brand her son. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. They saw a group of lads, a violent scene, and made up their minds, she says. Jay had no record. He went to school. He worked weekends. But because he didn't snitch on the others, because he wouldn't name names, they treated him the same. She recalls how Jay sat in court, silent, shaking. I've never seen him so broken. After the verdict, he cried in the car all the way home. He said, "Mom, they think I'm a thug." But to her, he was still the boy who made TikToks in his room, who helped his nan with the shopping, who had dreams of working in fitness. He had one moment of stupidity, and it followed him forever. The long shadow of a conviction. Jay's conviction changed everything. His college placement in a fitness and sports program was quietly withdrawn. He struggled to find work. Debbie says employers would Google his name and then go silent. That record killed his confidence. He started staying in more. He didn't feel like he had a future. But even through the lowest points, she says Jay tried to stay positive. He enrolled in online courses. He volunteered at a local boxing gym. He told her he was going to make something of himself. He was getting better. That's what's so cruel. Just when he was getting on the right path, this whole thing in Tenerife happened. Escape to Tenerife. Or trouble. Jay's trip to Tenerife in June 2024 was supposed to be a fresh start. A short break with friends, a few parties, maybe a chance to look for seasonal work. He needed a change of scenery, Debbie recalls. He told me, "Mom, I feel like I'm just existing here. I want to do something, be someone." But in just 72 hours, he vanished. The story that followed gripped the nation, his final known movements, the cryptic phone calls, the Airbnb in the hills, the unanswered questions. Then, headlines began to resurface about Jay's past, his conviction, his so-called gang ties, the violent teen. It felt, to Debbie, like he was being judged all over again. They used that one mistake to define him. They painted him as a thug gone missing, not a young lad in trouble. It hurt. Jay was a victim long before he disappeared. Debbie now believes her son was set up, from the gang pressure that led to his conviction, to the shady characters he met abroad. I don't think he ever really escaped that first mistake. People used him, pressured him, made him feel like he had no way out. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. She hints at suspicions that Jay may have gotten caught up in something dangerous in Tenerife, perhaps even coerced into running errands or minding things for people he barely knew. He was vulnerable. They could see that. And once you've got a record, you're easier to manipulate. That's what I think happened. Fighting for his name. Since Jay's disappearance, Debbie has been on a mission, not just to find answers, but to clear her son's name. I don't want people to remember Jay as a headline. I want them to remember him as a son, a brother, a boy who got caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. She's been collecting statements, even revisiting court records to prove that Jay's involvement in the 2021 incident was minor. She plans to petition for the conviction to be reassessed. I know it won't bring him back. But maybe it'll give him some peace. And me too. The reality behind the gang. Interestingly, one of the co-defendants in Jay's case was recently rearrested for another violent incident, confirming Debbie's fears that Jay had been hanging with dangerous individuals. He wasn't like them. He wasn't made for that life. He just wanted to belong. She shares messages Jay had sent a friend a few weeks before he vanished. I want to leave all that behind. Just be me again. Legacy of a lost boy. As Debbie ends her story, she picks up a small chain from the kitchen counter, Jay's, with a worn-out silver boxing glove pendant. He wore this every day after that court case. Said it reminded him to fight, not people, but for his future. She clutches it tightly. That's the Jay I knew. Not a gang kid. Not a convict. Just a boy who made one mistake and tried to make it right. Conclusion: more than a headline. Jay Slater's story, like too many others, reminds us how one moment can derail a young life. How society is quick to judge, but slow to forgive. And how behind every mugshot or conviction is a mother, a home, and a hope that things could have turned out differently. As Debbie continues her fight to uncover the truth about Jay's final days, one thing remains clear: she won't let his story be reduced to a tabloid summary. My boy was more than his worst day, she says. And I'll spend the rest of my life proving that. Subscribe the channel to get such videos.